Look, I ain't selling you, Roy. I'm telling you. My trucks are in prime shape.
I know that, Marty. That's why I want to buy you out.
Yeah, but this is 18 million. That's way below market value.
Market value is what someone's willing to pay. What are you kicking around?
26?
Dream on, Doyle.
No, I mean, look, that includes my Learjet. She's a regular flying penthouse.
Well, of course it's included. It's a company asset, isn't it?
You could fly to Africa and visit your daughter. How is she, by the way? I understand they're having some trouble over there.
Yeah, well, Chris is a little like you, Marty. Out of touch with reality. You were $4 million in the red last year.
No. See, that's just on paper.
Money is paper.
Come on, Roy. Now, you know, if you picked up my stock, it would make you the biggest operator on the West Coast. Unless the Lewis brothers beat you to it.
Lewis brothers couldn't beat a dead horse out of the gate. They're filing for Chapter 11 tomorrow.
They're doing what? You think you could go to 24?
Why don't I just have George here draw up the acquisition papers? We'll get them over you by this afternoon.
This afternoon?
Sure.
Yeah, sure, that'd be fine.
Terrific, done.
All right. I'll see you later, George.
Nice seeing you, Marty. This afternoon?
You heard me. Make it for 18 million.
What if he passes?
He won't. He has no place else to go.
Okay.
Top heavy with fat old geezers like Doyle. Sharpen your shears, Elkins. We're gonna do some pruning.
Standard 60-day notices?
60. I want things buttoned up by the end of the month and lose the leer. We're not Playboy.
Check.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Baxter, but it's your call to Kenya.
Hello, Chris. You there?
Dad? Are you okay?
Me? I'm fine. What about you? Been trying to get through all week. Nothing works over there. Chris, when are you coming home?
I'm in the middle of my research. We're at a very critical stage.
Honey, I can hardly hear you.
Everything's fine.
Fine? What about these poaching gangs? They're right in your area. There's a big story in today's paper. Some tourists got killed.
You know very well I can take care of myself. I'm a big girl.
Chris, it's not safe. I want you back here by Friday. I'll make all the arrangements. Finish your research here.
Dad, we've been over this so many times. I can only do my work here in Africa. This sickness is really...
Hello, Chris. Chris? Chris! Are you there? Damn it.
Welcome to Nairobi.
Are you staying, Mr. Baxter?
I'm not here to have a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, flight number 009 is now ready for departure. Would all passengers please report to gate number 19.
Hebu chukua huyo jamaa bwana, inaonekana ni
Bibi na mabwana,
ndege sasa.
Ndege nambari 502 iliyotazamiwa kuwasili saa 12 inachelewa dakika 15. Ladies and gentlemen, flight number 502 that was expected to arrive at 6 o'clock will be delayed for 15 minutes.
Excuse me. Do you mind? Just get out of my way, would you? Thank you.
Jeep Safari. Karibu bwana.
Good afternoon.
Just a sec, almost done. Angalia Simba Hakumia.
Roy Baxter. The photos don't do you justice, old boy. Alan Nicholson, Caribou, Kenya. Welcome to Kenya.
Yeah, thanks. Nicholson, you must be the bush pilot.
Flying doctor service. Well, old Chrissy will be quite blown away, as she'd say.
Where is old Chrissy, anyway?
Dad? Oh, my God, what are you doing here? It's great to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you, sweetie.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. I just missed you, that's all.
Well, come on, I'll give you a tour. Do you want anything? Can I get you?
I'm just thirsty. I'd love a Perrier.
I'm sorry. I've been living in the bush so long, I've completely forgotten my manners. Dr. Kenneth Ngolo. This is my father, Roy Baxter.
Mr. Baxter, it's truly a pleasure to meet you, after all Christina has told us.
I'm sure.
And you've met Alan.
Oh, yes. Oh, don't worry, most of the creepy crawlies died in the boiling.
Come on, I'll show you the lab. I think I've got a beer stashed away.
Good.
I'm afraid you've flown 10,000 miles to hear the same thing I told you over the phone.
Christina, enlighten me. What are you doing here that you can't do someplace else?
Only my life's work. Here you go.
This is why you work so hard in medical school? So you could come all this way and play Florence Nightingale to a bunch of people who punch holes in their ears and carry spears?
They're Maasai, Dad. They're one of the last truly traditional tribes left on Earth.
What's wrong with them anyway? They're all nodding off out there like a bunch of dope addicts or something.
Don't you read my letters? They've got sleeping sickness. I'm working on a vaccine.
Well, pass out the party favors. What are these Maasai gonna do for you if one of these poaching gangs hits this place? Spears don't fare too well against machine guns.
Oh, please, more people are murdered in New York and LA on a weekend than in a year in Kenya.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I checked out these gangs. They shoot elephants for their tusks and wildlife for the meat, and then they raid villages and kidnap hostages to carry everything over the border, and they kill anyone who gets in the way. Hey, if you're gonna swear at me, at least do it in English.
I just said that I've lived here for 3 years, but you're the expert on Africa.
Chris, be reasonable. You're the only daughter I'm ever gonna have. I raised you to be independent, to think for yourself.
Yeah, but when I do, the veins in your neck pop out.
It's hard enough losing your mother. You can't expect me just to stand around and wait for you to get hurt by a bunch of savages.
Well, what are you gonna do, Colonel Baxter? Order me to return to base?
Franklin?
No, thanks. It's good, though.
Oh, I thought you'd like it. All white meat.
Around here?
Good thing Alan's such a good cook. If it were up to me, we'd be eating peanut butter and jelly.
Right. So, Al, you get over here a lot?
It's Alan, actually. Twice a week or so. Tend the malaria. Plug the odd spear hole.
Spear hole?
Messine courier. Just the odd scrap who pinched whose goat, you know, the sort of thing.
More wine? Alan also helps with the game when we're doing the blooding.
I know you already told me, honey, but run it by me again.
Well, we take blood samples. Sleeping sickness is caused by trypanosomes, which are parasites passed on by tsetse flies. Humans have no resistance to trips, so the disease can be fatal.
But wild game has built-in resistance.
Yes,
so-
particularly wildebeest. That's how they survive in fly-infested areas.
You're trying to find out how they resist the disease and see if maybe there's a way to transfer that to people.
Exactly. Okay. The secret is in the genetic pattern of the chromosomes. If I can crack the code, then a vaccine would be possible.
Yes, thousands of lives would be saved. Sort of thing they hand out Nobel Prizes for.
So how long do you think this might take? Weeks, months, decades?
I don't know, maybe years. Whatever it takes.
Well, I don't think it makes much difference between the disease and the poachers. You'll be lucky to last long enough. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
I should hope not. After all, it really isn't your decision, is it, Roy?
Hey, why don't you just butt out, Buana? This is a family matter.
Oh, steady on, old boy.
Oh, old boy, me. I didn't raise a daughter to be sacrificed, not even for a Nobel Prize.
Well, just knock it off, both of you.
Hell with all of you. I'm leaving in the morning.
Can't let him get to you, that's all.
Yes. I noticed how you had him eating out of the palm of your hand today. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. Well, I guess you can pick your fiancé. Just can't pick your father-in-law, eh?
I promise I will tell him about our plans.
If pressed, I might just tell him how much I love you.
How about now?
Dad, what do you think you're doing?
Trying to get his ruddy head blown off, that's what.
Hardly, Al. I just think such wonderful news calls for immediate celebration. I see you've already started splurging. What's this, the honeymoon suite? Very plush.
Get out of here, Baxter.
You want to talk business? Let's get right down to it. How much do you net plugging spear holes? Okay, gross then.
Dad, stop acting like a child.
You just said the magic word. How many children are you going to have? Kids can be expensive. Of course, here you don't have to clothe them or educate them or even feed them. Just send them out into the bush with a snare.
Stop it, Dad! Get out! Now!
Chrissy, Alan, good morning. Dr. Ngolo. You get that right?
Yes, morning.
Mounting quite a mission for a few blood samples. What's this?
Tranquilizer gun for the wildebeest.
Chris, I got to thinking last night.
About what? The fact that you've done nothing but act like a jerk since you got here?
If you just let me finish, I was about to say I was way out of line. I know it. I apologize. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I was thinking about your work, too. Your lab. In fact, a whole new lab. State-of-the-art equipment. Annual operating budget. Freedom to pick and choose your own projects.
Oh, and exactly where would this scientific Eden be located?
You name it. San Francisco, Hawaii, the Bahamas are nice.
How about right here in Kenya? Right. All right, let's go. Want to come along? Or are you afraid you'll find out my work's actually worthwhile after all?
This is all Maasai land, the Mara Plain. We'll nip along the river and slip up over the escarpment.
You'll get a royal view of what we call MMBA.
What?
MMBA.
Miles and miles of bloody Africa. Wildebeest, 3 o'clock. It's near Bossy. Edge of the fly belt.
Here comes Joe, on time for once.
Dr. Joseph Kuboya runs the World Health Organization Grants Committee. He's the only one who had faith in me from day one. Without him, my funding would have dried up like the Athi River.
Your man's got an armed escort. Apparently he's more concerned about these poaching gangs than you are.
It isn't that. The soldiers discouraged the Maasai and the courier from having a go at each other. Right. Flight attendants, prepare for arrival.
When I introduce you to the head, you'll give him this cloth and say, Mchumbo, Mzee Botia.
You can't be serious.
Mchumbo, Mzee Botia.
Jambo Christina. Mzuri sana mzuri. Leta hii inasaidia wewe. Chukua hii.
Yango, Baba Yango? Right.
Baba yako?
Baba Yango?
Baba yako Roy.
Jumbo. Mzee Botia.
Jambo bwana Roy. Asante. Asante sana.
Je, umetukamatia nyumbu?
Ndio, wako wengi kwa boma. Njoo twende. Njoo.
They rounded up some wildebeest for us.
Why did you give him my silver star?
Well, without Botia's help, my work would be virtually impossible.
That was for you. Damn near cost me my life.
I know it was important to you. Now you know that he's important to me.
God, the way these people live.
Well, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
There's Kuboya now. Come on. I'll do the honors.
Alan, my dear chap. Good to see you. And who might I have the pleasure of meeting?
Joe, this is Roy Baxter, Christina's father. Roy, this is Dr. Kuboya.
See, you're the guy who's got my daughter out here risking her neck. If it weren't for you, she might be back home where she belongs.
Throughout history, Mr. Baxter, all great scientific discoveries have involved risk.
How would you know? Sitting back in your air-conditioned office, polishing your speech for the Nobel Committee.
Now, just a minute.
When you do muster the guts to visit the front, you bring along your own army.
Now, this army is not for me. It's there to prevent war between the couriers and the Maasai.
Why the hell doesn't my daughter rate protection? Because she's American? Because she's white? Or both?
Is he always like this?
Till you get to know him better. And he's much worse.
Stay there. Down, get down. Just stay there.
So, you did not actually see the killings, Dr. Baxter?
No, but I'm sure my father told you exactly...
Nor is there any mention of a witness, as the prisoner claimed in his statement.
The prisoner is my father, and I'll thank you to refer to him as Mr. Baxter. And if he said that there was a witness, you ought to be out there looking for him.
Please don't tell me how to do my job, Doctor. Everything, and I mean everything, will be checked.
He's innocent. I don't know why you're wasting all of our time with this. You should be out there looking for the real killer.
I'm afraid the evidence indicates otherwise.
What evidence?
I really can't discuss it. As a professional, surely you can appreciate my position.
He needs medical attention. I'd like Dr. Nicholson to examine his wound.
Well, it's not infected. Stitches have held. You're lucky.
Exactly what I was thinking. Boy, am I lucky.
Right. I'll push on. I'll wait for you outside, Chris.
Well, he's a good medic, I'll give him that. What does police commissioner say? When can I get the hell out of here?
Hasn't Mambulu told you?
Took my statement, that's it. That clown didn't even question me. What, Chris?
They're going to charge you, Dad, with the murder of Dr. Kuboya.
That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know. What are we going to do about it?
I don't know. We gotta take the initiative.
Right. I'll go to the embassy. I'll talk to the ambassador.
Good. Have him swing his clout. Get me out of this rat motel.
What else? The boy.
The kid. We gotta find him.
Right.
The cap is the key. Just say? Buccaneers.
Okay, Alan will fly back to the village and track him down. Dad, I can't do everything myself.
Fine.
Okay, well, I better get going.
Chris?
Mr. Ambassador, are you saying that you can't help my father or you won't?
Now, just a minute. Let me provide a little perspective on what he's up against. A few years back, one of our Navy men stationed here killed a prostitute with a broken bottle. If tried, he'd have been found guilty. He'd have hanged. The State Department leaned all over the Kenyan government to have him released to U.S. military authorities. Now, they gave in, but there was a major, and I mean major, public outcry. The president is not going to let that happen again.
My father is not a murderer.
I believe you, Dr. Baxter, but that's irrelevant. A World Health official has been gunned down. Now, rightly or wrongly, they have a suspect. Kenya will be under an international microscope at this. They'll have to go to trial.
Well, what kind of trial will he get under these conditions?
I'll recommend the best Kenyan attorney I can find to represent him.
Dad's got a lawyer, George Lytle. He's on a plane right now.
Yes, I know. Mr. Lytle can serve as co-counsel, but he can't argue before the court. He's not a member of the Kenyan bar. And besides, he's white.
Well, what about bail? At least we can get him out of that cesspool.
I'm sorry, Dr. Baxter, but in this country, there is no bail for murder.
Hi.
Well?
I must have seen 50 kids. They all said the same thing. As soon as the shooting started, they all ran up and hid in the bush.
Should have gone up there myself.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's the Baxter way, isn't it?
Oh, damn it, Alan. All I'm trying to say
If
is...
I could find the kid, they wouldn't let him come forward and testify. The tribe is terrified of reprisals from Shenzi's gang, and with bloody good reason.
Dad, I should have listened to him. But I was too busy trying to be right.
Oh, come on. Come on. You're hardly being fair to yourself.
How can you look at this situation and even say the word?
Don't worry. We'll get through it. I promise. All of us.
Toka. Toka.
Sit down.
No, I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going back to that cell either. I want my release papers, I want my passport, and I want out of here now.
Mr. Baxter, I will conduct this inquiry. You will answer my questions. Do you understand? This is a receipt listing your property that was confiscated upon your arrest and which we will hold until your case is decided. Sign at the bottom.
There's a problem here. The cash.
Is some missing?
Not at all. It's just not my money.
$1,900 US. A man could live well in Kenya for several years on that amount.
Really?
Normally, I would add attempted bribery to the pending charges, but as you're a wealthy American, I realize it's a natural reflex.
Can't blame me for trying. I thought it was a national reflex in the third world.
Mr. Baxter, as much as I enjoy your repartee, I'm afraid I must hereby formally charge you with the murder of Dr. Joseph Kuboya. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you.
Come on, you know who I am. What possible reason could I have to kill a man I never even set eyes on before?
Well, Colonel, I'll tell you. Your wife died recently. You're a lonely widower. You came to Kenya to bring your only child home. As a successful businessman, you're used to having your way, but your daughter refused to leave Kenya. Her work came first. You fought about it. We have witnesses. Dr. Kuboya was responsible for her research project, the only obstacle preventing you from taking Christina home. You clashed with him. We have witnesses. You were angry, frustrated. The poacher's ambush provided you the opportunity to solve your problem. As a decorated combat veteran, killing was not unthinkable. In the confusion, you obtained a weapon and murdered Dr. Kuboya.
No jury will buy that.
There is no jury, Mr. Baxter. No pre-trial hearings. No continuances. No endless appeals. This is not America. Trials and sentencing are carried out swiftly in Kenya.
Hey, the poachers did it. A white guy, probably the leader of the gang.
Shenzi is what they call him. Wild man. A former Belgian Congo mercenary.
That's the guy who shot me.
Shenzi led the ambush, but you murdered Dr. Kuboya, and if you hadn't been caught with the gun in your hands, you might very well have gotten away with it.
There was a witness.
A little native boy, about 7, wearing a cap, tribal scars on his face. Do you realize how many young boys fit that description? They're as common as wildebeest.
What about evidence? Or would that slow down your speedy judicial process too much?
In addition to the testimony of the Askaris, who arrested you at the scene, and your fingerprints on the murder weapon, we found bloodstains on Dr. Kuboya's body, left there by his killer. A-positive bloodstains. Your type, Mr. Baxter. Your blood. Are you aware of the maximum penalty for murder in Kenya? Death by hanging. Now, there is a way to avoid such unpleasantness. Confess, and the court may show leniency.
Whose payroll are you on, Shenzi's?
It's your choice, Baxter. Confess, or hang.
Guard! Hey, guard! Guard! Hey, guard! Hey! I need a doctor. Understand? Doctor.
Daktari. Me look out.
Here, see? The stitches are bad. Easy, take it easy. Hey, hey!
Yo! Na unabeba bunduki umefunzwa bwana. Wewe bure sana ungenipatia hiyo bunduki. Mungu ametoroka, mkamate.
It's Lytle, Lytle, George. He should have checked in last night.
I cannot hear you.
Wait, hold on a second. Hello?
Repeat.
Hi, okay. I'd like to leave a message, please. Hello? Hello? Ah! Hello?
Told you nothing works right over here. I had to do it, Chris. I'm not going to let myself be sacrificed on any altar of political expediency.
I didn't say a word.
No, but you had that look, the same one your mother used to get.
Listen, maybe you should try to get out of the country.
I thought about it, but I'd just spend the rest of my life looking over my shoulder, not to mention what might happen to you. No, we got to get the kid.
Alan tried.
We'll try harder.
You know, if this backfires, we both hang.
Don't you think after 30 years we might try trusting each other?
Maybe.
Mayeza. Ah, abio. Mimi ndiye mganga mwenyeji ambaye ndio kote.
Just let me handle this. I know these people and their customs. Let's be patient, okay?
Not easy to be patient with a noose hanging around your neck. I'll try.
Jambo mzee Botia.
Jambo,
Habari zaji.
Habari nzuri.
Nzuri sana.
Habari yako?
Pombe, honey beer, just drink it.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
It's not bad.
Mzee Roy ana bibi ngapi na ng'ombe ngapi?
He wants to know how many wives and cattle you have.
My wife died a year ago. May she rest in peace. No cattle either. But plenty of tractors.
Anasema, bibi yake ambaye ni mama yangu alikufa. Mungu amrehemu. Hana ng'ombe, lakini ana matrakta.
Mwambie mimi natoa rambirambi kwake. Nasema kwa sababu wewe umesaidia watu wangu kwa ugonjwa ya macho, mimi tatoa ng'ombe 20 kwake apate bibi mpya.
Mzee Botia offers his condolences and says that because I've helped his people with the sleeping sickness, he will give you 20 cows to buy a new wife. That's a fortune here, Dad. He just offered you half his wealth.
How do you say thank you?
Asante sana.
Asante sana, Mzee Botia. I'm still mourning my wife, but if I ever decide to take another, I'll certainly consider your kind offer very seriously.
Anasema, bado ana huzuni kwa kifo cha bibi yangu.
Mimi nafikiria yeye shujaa sana na yeye ana akili kwa kukimbia polisi.
Botia admires your courage and cleverness at escaping the police.
Not so clever, but thanks. Asante sana.
Bottoms up. Njoo mina onyesha we kitu fulani.
What the hell's going on now? We're gonna ask him about the boy or what?
He wants to show us something.
There, the cap. Hey, hold it. Wait, please. Please stop. I won't hurt you. I won't hurt you. Don't worry.
Ask him where he got the cap.
Lipata hii kofia wapi?
Niliipata kwa msitu.
He says he found it in the bush.
Belongs to the boy who saw what happened. Can you get them all together so I can take a look at them?
Nasema, ilikuwa ya yule kijana.
Samahani Mzee Roy. Alafu amtaje Shenzi, sisi tapata tabu nyingi hapa.
If the boy is found and speaks against Shenzi, then Shenzi's gang will seek revenge.
You disappoint me, Baxter. Proving the cliché by returning to the scene of your crime.
If I were guilty, wouldn't I be trying to get out of the country instead of coming back here?
The border is only 12 miles away. So you came for your witness. Good. Let's find him. Walete vijana wote. Walete vijana wote. Sasa! Mr. Baxter? Jina lako nani?
Jina lake ni Muki Waliopa. Babaka aliwawa na Shenzi na ndugu yake akachukuliwa mateka.
His name is Muki Leopa. His father was killed by Shenzi. His brother taken hostage.
Is this the boy? Let's go! You've kept the magistrate waiting long enough.
How did you know where to find me?
These are good for checking all kinds of animals.
Dad.
It's okay.
It is therefore on the basis of the evidence presented in this court and under the authority of the Criminal Procedure Code that I remand the accused, Roy Francis Baxter, for trial before the High Court on a charge of murder. Bailiff, take charge of the prisoner.
You know, back in the States, I know millionaires who scream if they have to part with a buck. Botia and his people have nothing. They barely survive day to day. He offered me half his herd. Because he respects you.
He respects you too, Dad, for what you did.
Must be losing my edge letting that kid off the hook. Probably you've saved my hide.
I was never more proud to be your daughter.
Yeah, well, to Mambulu, my escape is just more proof that I'm guilty.
You're not gonna give up, Dad. You never did, all the years Mom was sick.
Boy, whoever said time heals all wounds is a horse's ass. I miss Barb more now than I did the day she died. But I suppose Mambulu was right about one thing.
What's that?
He said I wanted to bring you home just to ease my own loneliness.
Dad.
When? Exactly, Nisha.
So. But kicking me out, there's something I want to try. I don't know if it'll work, but I need a sample of your blood. Give me your hand.
Why?
Just do it. You and the murderer both have type A blood, but there is a way that we might be able to differentiate between the two.
My aftershave, or are you just in a work mode?
Sorry, honey. All I can think about right now is clearing Dad.
Why? What do you want to?
Well, that's Dad's blood. A major part of the case against him is that his type matches the killer's, right?
That's right.
Well, it's the same group, A positive, but millions of people have A positive blood. But what's unique to each person is the genetic makeup of the cells. Like their fingerprints, right? It's called genetic fingerprinting. And it's a different application of the same principles that I use in my work. And they've been using it in court cases the past few years in England, in the States.
Kenya?
Oh, there's a first time for everything, right? Let me show you. Okay, you see these blips?
Yeah, they look like Morse code.
Every person's blood has its own absolutely unique genetic DNA pattern.
Bloody amazing. Pardon the pun. Think you can do it?
If I have enough time.
Well, the field marshal isn't exactly my ideal golf partner, but I am a great fan of his daughter. How can I help?
I need a sample of Shenzi's blood from Kuboya's clothing.
You don't ask much, do you? Even if I can get to it, it'll have both Kuboya's and Shenzi's blood on it. How can I tell them apart?
Well, you can't, so just bring me lots of samples and I'll sort them out.
For heaven's sake, Chrissy, it is state evidence. I'll have it locked up tight up at the...
At RHI Laboratories, where the handsome and charming Dr. Alan Nicholson has many friends.
Don't give me that smile, Dr. Nicholson. I know all about your wedding plans.
I can never keep anything from you, Kuboya, my love.
Shall I take care of that?
No, this is some fresh wildebeest blood up from Nyabasi. Had a devil of a time getting it. If I let this spoil, old Chris is gonna...
Shame on you. Not even married and already afraid of the wife?
Look, I better pop it in the fridge. Be a love and buzz me in, will you?
I'll buzz you in any day.
Hello, Roy. Hi. Yes. Well, you're looking remarkably well, considering... Listen, this is Adam Mchumbo. Now, I'll work with him, of course, but he'll be out front.
It is my pleasure to represent you, Mr. Baxter. There has been much attention surrounding your case, but we'll win, I'm certain.
Why are you so sure?
You're right, Mr. Baxter. Nothing in this world is certain.
Wait a minute, are you certain or uncertain?
Well, it is said, kumini kwa hakika, lazima tuanze kwa shida, which means to believe with certainty, we must begin with doubting.
How's it going?
See you in a minute. I'm just running a standard grouping test for type. Let's see what we've got. Okay, that's type B, Kuboya's blood. B again. Are you sure you cut every blood stain?
Quite. My hand's still cramped.
B, damn it! Okay, they're all Kuboya's blood.
You missed one.
Type A.
Shenzi.
Gotcha.
Is the American government going to pull strings?
My client pleads not guilty.
Plea noted. The court will remind the visiting advocate that his role is confined to co-counsel. He may not address the bench at any time.
Mr. Lytle understands, my lord.
These gentlemen are assessors. They will offer their opinions on the case, but the final decision will rest with the High Court alone. Proceed.
My lord, the state will satisfy the court that on September 7th of this year, in the Kuria village of Niabasi on the Mara Plain, Dr. Joseph Kuboya, Grants Committee Director for the World Health Organization and one of Kenya's leading citizens, was murdered. Murdered with great malice and terrible violence. Murdered by this man, Roy Baxter. And this proves irrefutably that the defendant's blood type matches that found both on the victim's clothing and on the murder weapon itself. In this report, my lord, State Exhibit number 7. This contains the result of the paraffin test done on the defendant's clothing, proving that he fired the weapon that was found in his hands at the time of his arrest.
Objection. The prosecution is
Mr. Lytle, pray do not jeopardize your client with American courtroom theatrics. There's no jury to impress.
Your Honor,
my lord, Mr. Lytle apologizes for his outbursts and assures the court it shall not happen again.
Thank you, Mr. Mchumbo. Proceed, Mr. Prosecutor.
My lord, if it pleases the court, objection be made that prosecution is drawing his own conclusions from the evidence.
So noted. You may continue.
So you could come all the way over here and play Florence Nightingale for people who punch holes in their ears and carry spears. And this, my lord, You can't expect me to just stand by and watch you get hurt by a bunch of savages. Do you deny saying those words?
No, but...
Thank you, my lord. The state contends that this clinic staff testimony clearly establishes the defendant's vehement opposition to his daughter's work here in Kenya, as well as his obvious racism, but also his intent to take action. Sufficient motives for a soldier with extensive combat experience to exploit the poacher's ambush and shoot Dr. Kuboya, thereby terminating his daughter's work here so he can take her home. I am certain the court will share the state's view that, given the compelling nature of the evidence, the defendant is guilty as charged. And
don't worry. The most he'll ask for is life, and most likely just 30 years.
That's encouraging. We are fully justified in seeking the ultimate penalty, death by hanging. The state rests.
American Roy Baxter, who is charged with the killing of Dr. Joseph Kuboya, a prominent official of the World Health Organization, who was murdered in the Kuria village of Nyabasi on September the 7th. Today, the lawyer for the defense, Mr.
God, Alan, I can't believe this is happening. Do you really think that they could hang him? I have to see him.
Chrissy.
I have to see him. Get the plane ready.
Chrissy, think. There is nothing you can do in Nairobi. Oh. The only way to help him is to finish the tests here. You said you were close. How close? How close?
And, my lord, to wit, identical blood groups do not prove the defendant's culpability. It merely implies the possibility. Mere possession of the murder weapon by the defendant at the time of his arrest does not prove that he fired it. One may only suppose that he did. And since none of the witnesses whose depositions the prosecution has read at this trial, not one even claims to have actually seen the defendant shoot the victim. And finally, as to what the offended staff claims to have overheard, their testimony is totally insufficient to establish an intent to commit murder. Implication, supposition, conjecture, that is the extent of the case against my client. And as such, my lord, it warrants but one verdict. Not guilty.
I think this is it.
We've got to get these to Mambulu.
Now I'll get the plane ready.
Alan, I love you. I love you. Okay, and you can see clearly the difference in the patterns here, 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 and here.
How do I know that this is the killer's blood?
Came from this. Any forensic lab will be able to match it up with Dr. Kuboya's suit.
I could have you both arrested for tampering with state's evidence.
But you won't.
Why not?
Because this proves my father's innocence, and you know it.
I am hardly an expert on genetic fingerprinting.
You don't have to be. I am. It's my work here. I've also faxed copies of the auto-reds to 60 Minutes and the New York Times. If you ignore this evidence and an innocent American is executed, what do you think that'll do to Kenya's international reputation? And who do you think your government will hold responsible? Are you really interested in justice, or do you just want to hang my father?
Dr. Baxter, I can assure you that I have no desire to see an innocent man unjustly punished. But the High Court of this country is not going to decide a case of this magnitude on the basis of little dots. As for your threats, not even a blockade by the U.S. Navy would arrive in time to help your father. In order to persuade the Chief Justice, we need more than your science. We need that witness.
Mr. Baxter, you are entitled to address the court before judgment is rendered. I assume you'd like to exercise that privilege?
Yes, my lord. Ever since this nightmare began, there have been so many things I wanted to say. Now that I have the chance, I don't know where to begin.
Take your time.
I came here to take my daughter away from a dangerous situation. Bring her back home, where she'd be safe. Instead, I almost get killed in the bush and wind up here on trial for my life. My lord, I'm innocent. I didn't shoot Dr. Kuboya. The man who did, this poacher Shenzi, is still out there, and he'll do it again. For God's sake, don't confuse past mistakes with my situation. Because no matter what happens in this courtroom, the truth will be known by you and by the world. I have to believe that. I have to.
By the power invested in me as Chief Justice of the High Court and under Section 10 of the Penal Code of the Republic of Kenya, I will render the verdict in the case of Roy Francis Baxter, charged with murder in the first degree. Now, this brutal murder is one of the most savage and callous acts this country has ever witnessed. Dr. Joseph Kuboya was one of the most outstanding Kenyan citizens, viciously shot down in cold blood, his body left to rot in the scorching sun. And why? Simply because you thought he stood in the way of bringing your daughter home. As a wealthy American businessman, you must have thought you could escape the justice of our... Order in court. Bailiff, Sergeant at Arms, tell those people to keep quiet. What's the meaning of this intrusion?
My lord, I am Commissioner Thomas Mambulu, Narok District.
Commissioner Mambulu, you simply cannot storm into the High Court like a rogue elephant. I am in the process of delivering the verdict.
And have you, my lord, delivered your verdict?
Not yet, Commissioner, because you...
Then I have made it in time.
In time for what?
To present a material witness who will testify to the innocence of
My lord, I
Mr.
object.
Roy Baxter.
I object. This is highly irregular.
This boy saw what happened.
Commissioner, as you very well know, witnesses before the High Court testify in depositions, not in person. And now is hardly the time to introduce new evidence. This case has been decided. Surely you do not expect the High Court to alter its ruling on the testimony of a mere child?
No, my lord, not without corroborating evidence.
What's this?
Scientific proof that Roy Baxter did not murder Dr. Kuboya. I do expect the High Court of my country to alter its ruling in the interest of justice. A terrible mistake has been made. Now is the time to correct it, before it is too late.
Mr. Baxter, do you swear that this is the child you claim was witness to the killing of Dr. Kuboya?
Yes, my lord.
Very well. Please step into the witness box. Tell the court who you are and what you saw.
Tafadhali eleza kote jina lako, ulichoona na usiogope.
Mimi ni Mukiliopa, mimi ni Mukuria, na mimi ni miaka 7.
Beautiful, isn't it?
More than that. Something about it, a kind of magic. You know, you go through life every day with responsibilities, duties. They seem important, but they're not. You forget what really matters. When something like this happens and you remember. The irony. I come to Africa to save you, and you end up saving me.
Well, it wasn't just me, Dad. I couldn't have done it without Alan.
Quite a guy. Thank you.
Thank you.
To freedom.
To freedom.
Official letters of apology from the Chief Justice and the President.
Accepted.
Mr. Baxter, I hope you will accept my personal apology for everything that has happened.
Well, Commissioner, you came late, but you brought a lot to the party. You taking heat for that?
One survives. That is the way of Africa.
Bueno, Commissioner, headquarters is on the radio.
Excuse me. Right. I'm on my way. The village of Nyabasi has been attacked.
Shenzi, because Muki testified.
Mr. Baxter, the village headman made that decision. He knew the risk. I must go and muster my men. We'll take care of this Shenzi once and for all.
I want in on this. I owe them. And you owe me.
Mr. Baxter, you are lucky to survive one encounter with Shenzi. This is not your concern. Have a safe flight back to America.
Mambulu won't even get back to Nairobi till after dark. Then he has to round up and equip his guys. Botia and his people need help now.
Still gotta play commando, huh?
She's right, you know. You got no weapons, you don't know the bush, you wouldn't stand a chance out there alone.
Maybe I won't be alone.
Wait a minute. You may be insane, but Alan isn't.
I wasn't talking about Alan, that's up to him. But I bet Botia and his boys would like a crack at Shenzi on equal terms. All I have to do is get some guns.
Well, shotgun's handy in the bush, we'll take mine.
Alan!
Can't bloody well let him go off with a courier alone, can I? Anyway, the Swahili's atrocious. I'll fill the plane with extra avgas cans, extend our range.
Need radios and maps.
Yeah, and extra firepower. I'll make a few calls.
Knock it off, both of you. I don't believe this.
Sweetheart, when I was in Vietnam, I was 10,000 miles away from home, fighting in a war my country didn't care enough to even declare. To this day, I'm not sure what I was fighting for. This time I am.
Asante, Christina.
Karibu mzee Botia.
Muki.
Asante sana, Muki.
Bunduki, kuja haraka, kuja tukiwa bunduki. Enda uwa ile Shenzi. Haraka, haraka, haraka. Niyo nzuri, si nzuri hii? Niyo. Leta ingine bunduki. Haya. Shenzi wapi? Shenzi wapi?
Ondoke sasa. Sasa!
Shenzi's camp is somewhere this side of the border. We have to catch him napping, because if he slips across into Tanzania, we can't touch him.
Well, we'll pin it down, bivouac within striking distance, and hit him at dawn.
Right. I'll do an aerial recce.
Nitatafuta kambi ya Shenzi. Nitashambulia asubuhi na mapema.
Vizuri sana.
Well, I'll see you at the border. We'll keep in touch by radio. It's a funny place, Africa. Generally, I use that plane for saving people.
You are saving people.
I'll wait for you in the plane.
You should be on a plane right now going home.
And you should be with me. You know, since your mother died, I've just been going through the motions, doing a lot of things that don't really matter. This is something that has to be done. Maybe it'll turn out that coming to Africa was good for both of us.
If we slow down, the dust wouldn't be so bad.
Araga!
Anything unusual? Tire tracks, cooking fires, anything?
That's this cliff, right?
Ndio. Pale.
All right, then it's this way.
Twende huku. Pande huku.
I don't think so.
Wanaona twende pande huku.
Let's just go this way, we'll see.
Sasa.
Botia 1, Baxter 0.
Huku.
Okay.
Baxter, this is Alan. You read, over.
Copy, Alan. Where are you? Over.
8 miles due west. Nothing so far, and we're losing the light. Going to have to set down for the night. Over.
Roger. We'll bivouac up at dawn. Over.
Baxter, this is Commissioner Mambulu.
Acknowledge. Over.
Alan, we're getting interference. I'll talk to you from camp. Out.
Baxter, you are supposed to be on an airplane. Answer me, damn you!
Baxter, come in.
Interference is right.
Until now, you haven't been driving it on.
Looks good. Chakula.
Chakula ni mbuzi.
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 Oh, goat. It's my favorite. Good.
Bottoms up.
You bet. Silver Star, Botia. They gave this to me for heroism and gallantry above and beyond the call of duty. Silver Star.
Ndio, Bwana Roy. Silver Star.
That's right. Tomorrow we'll see whether we really deserve it.
There. It's tire tracks and a campfire.
Damn, he's gone.
Looks like they're heading straight for the border.
Roy, look alive.
Copy, Alan. Over.
We spotted Shenzi's camp. He's already on the move. Tracks are heading 202 south-southwest, right for Tanzania. You've got to reach him before he crosses the border.
Roger that. My God. Shenzi, right?
Kambi ya Shenzi.
Roy, come in. Over.
Yeah, Alan, we're at Shenzi's camp. It's a slaughterhouse.
Got the bastard in sight.
Heading is 210 from you, approximately 8 miles south.
Roger, 210, we're on our way. I'll call you when I have you on visual, out.
Roy Baxter! Roy Baxter, this is Commissioner Mambulu. Come in. Baxter, I can see you, so I know that you can hear me. Acknowledge. 20. Roy Baxter, this is Commissioner Mambulu. Acknowledge! Baxter, I order you to cease pursuit immediately. The same goes for Alan Nicholson.
Shenzi is my responsibility!
Commissioner, say again. You're breaking up.
Baxter, I warn you! If you continue to interfere, you will be prosecuted! And this time, you won't like what I bring to the party!
Transmission garbled. Try again later.
Baxter!
Alan, do you copy?
Loud and clear, Roy.
You heard Mambulu. What do you say?
Mambulu? Is that who that was? Couldn't understand a bloody word of his transmission.
We see you. Stay on top of them so I know where they are.
Will do, but they're almost to the border. If they get across, the game's up.
I understand. Out.
Roy, that's the match. Shenzi will be across before you reach him.
How's your fuel, Alan?
Switching to reserve tanks in 5 minutes.
More than enough.
More than enough for what? Here, love. Take it, would you?
Now, when I tell you, bank hard left and hold on.
I had to just shoot you. Save everybody a lot of paperwork.
Around.
Move it. He's all yours.
Mr. Baxter, you have rather consistently violated both my orders and a variety of national laws. However, under the circumstances, my official report will focus instead on the remarkable service you have rendered Kenya in helping to bring Shenzi to justice.
Thank you.
Here, work your magic for the commissioner.
With pleasure.
Nice flying, Alan.
Thanks, Colonel.
I am standing here in the presence of God and before this man and this woman who intend their vows in this holy matrimony service. Do you, Alan Nicholson, take Christina Baxter to be thy wedded wife, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part?
I do.
Do you, Christina Baxter, take Alan Nicholson to be thy wedded husband, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part?
I do.
With this ring I thee wed, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen. You may kiss the bride.
There is a little unfinished business. Bride price. How many cows are we talking?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. 100. Better make it 150. I'll throw in a couple of dozen goats.
Daughter?
Done.
Bottoms up.